Hi, I've got a headache. I know what's caused it. I've been banging my head against a brick wall. It's not the major things, is it? It's the little things. Things like phone calls that are never returned, or emails that are never answered, or websites that are not functioning, or online orders where the one thing, essential thing that medically you really need simply doesn't turn up. Okay, so it's all trivial in the great scheme of things, but when you're banging your head against a brick wall, it doesn't half give you a headache. So I dared to look at the TV again now that our screens are not so full of endless charts that are tracking the progress of the coronavirus. And what do I see? I see pictures of protests all around the world. I see people from every section of society, every age and ability in protest. I hear cries of anger, of criticism, frustration, and shouts of demand and retaliation. I hear the cries of a world shouting for change, and I'm sad to say, I've seen it all before. It seems all too familiar, and the pain of seeing it all again does not just give me a headache this time. It actually cuts deep into my soul, and I found myself really weeping over it. But I also hear something else. I hear the prophetic cry, I can't breathe. For without breath, life, let alone life in all its fullness that Jesus said he would come to bring, simply just doesn't stand a chance. In the cry, I breathe, I hear the cry of truth speaking to power. It's as if they are saying, if you can't hear our cries of poverty, if you can't hear our lack of justice, if you can't hear our lack of being felt that we're valued, can you hear this cry? I can't breathe. Walter Brueggemann, a theologian, says legitimate power always includes an intentiveness to justice, and that truth is not just a sense of propositions in the Bible, but a cluster of relationships, dignity, well-being, security and respect. And if you want further biblical proof, remember that when God met with Moses, when Moses came back to the people with truth, that truth had come from the cry of slaves who needed a chance to breathe for themselves free from the slavery of Pharaoh. And in reality, Jesus always spoke truth to power, whether to the local Roman dignitaries, to sinners, to religious power holders, and even to spiritual powers. Speaking truth to power is the work of the kingdom. I can't breathe does not just come from the lips of George Floyd, but it comes from the lips of everyone whose lands have been possessed, peoples enslaved, and resources plundered. There is no nation that can hold its head up high here, and all have had the desire to conquer and dominate others, for which each one of us should deeply lament. So will we continue to bang our heads against a brick wall and get headaches? Is there nothing we can do? It's worth remembering that there was a time when slavery was desired and accepted, and one man stood the line so that slaves might breathe freely. There was a time when black and white could not sit on the same bus, but one woman chose to breathe a different kind of air. There was a time when children were seen but never to be heard, and one teen's voice brings leaders of nations to task over climate change. There was a time when protest and the prophetic cry, I can't breathe, touch more hearts than the soldiers who were sent to quell them. Will we be that one person wherever we are who will make a difference? The one person to seek justice, the one person to care for those who are abandoned, the one person to be as Jesus to the fragile. Will I be that one person? Will we be that one person so that we too may breathe more freely of the Spirit?